This is Standing Watch. And now, Evangelist Norbert Link.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to our Standing Watch program. Jesus Christ told us that we are His friends if we do what He has told us to do. And we are also admonished that we believe in God, that we love God, that we are true Christians when we keep His commandments. You all heard about the 10 Commandments. You know what the 4th commandment says: you shall keep the Sabbath, or remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Most Christians, I dare to say, don't do it. They may keep a day, Sunday. They may even call it the Sabbath. But Sunday is not the Sabbath. Sunday is the first day of the week. The Sabbath is the last day of the week, and God made that last day, that 7th day, holy when He created man. And Jesus Christ is called the Lord of the Sabbath. Nowhere in the Bible do you find that Christians kept Sunday. I'm not just talking about the people of the Old Testament. I'm talking about Jesus Christ. I'm talking about the early church. I'm talking about the apostles. They all kept the Sabbath. How can you remember to keep the Sabbath holy unless God made it holy in the first place? You see, people want to tell you that it doesn't matter, or that they are entitled to keep Sunday as the day of the Lord, as they say, as a day on which they keep services, on which they sanctify, worship, pray to God. The problem is, the Bible doesn't tell you that the Sabbath is no longer valid and that Sunday replaced it. The Roman Catholic Church is very honest when it comes to that point. A famous cardinal, Cardinal Gibbon, who lived at the end of the last century, the 19th century actually, he wrote several articles, several essays, I've read them all, in which he made the following point. He said, and he spoke to the Protestants, to the evangelicals, he said, you are saying that you only follow the Bible and what the Bible tells you, and if you did, you would have to keep the Sabbath, because you won't find anywhere in the Bible, from the book of Genesis all the way up until the book of Revelation, that the Sabbath is no longer valid. But you're not keeping the Sabbath. He said you keep Sunday. Why? Because you follow the lead of the Roman Catholic Church. Because you see, the Roman Catholic Church is taking the position that it has received authority from God to make this change, to make Sunday holy and do away with the weekly Sabbath. Now you gotta ask and answer the question, does man have the right, does man have the authority to make unholy what God has made holy, and to make holy what God has never made holy to begin with? And so some people, having looked into this issue, recognize and understand that the Sabbath needs to be kept, that weekly day starting Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, but they stop right there and don't go further, but they should, because you see, the Bible also talks about 7 annual holy days. And those 7 annual holy days, they're also called Sabbaths in the Bible. Most people don't know that. Most people don't realize that. For instance, the first day of unleavened bread is called a holy and great and marvelous Sabbath in the New Testament. The Day of Atonement is called a Sabbath. And so these are 7 annual holy days. And they also will have to be kept together with the weekly Sabbath, because all of that is a package. You cannot take the one and do away with the other. Now we have prepared 2 free booklets which tell you not only that you have to keep the Sabbath and the holy days if you want to be a true follower of Jesus Christ, but also how to do it. And the first booklet is called How to Keep the Sabbath. How do you keep the Sabbath? Once you understand and realize that the Sabbath is still holy, and has to be kept today. And the second booklet, God's commanded holy days, and that goes into both the weekly Sabbath and the annual Sabbath days. And you have to keep them all together. Now, these booklets are absolutely free of charge. I know, when we say that, people say, oh, it can't be free because there is nothing good for free. There is some kind of a price. No, these booklets are absolutely free of charge. You can't buy them. You cannot pay anything for them. Why? Not because they are cheap, but because they are priceless. You couldn't even pay enough. This is the truth. And the Bible tells us, don't sell the truth. The Bible tells us, freely you have received, freely you give. And that's what we are doing. We are offering you these booklets free of charge, and you will not receive any request for money from us or any follow-up. There will be nobody standing in front of your house knocking at your door trying to get in so that you have to pay him or her. You see, the problem is this. Unless you request communication with us, unless you request these booklets from us, and we have many more, you're not going to receive them. You have to request them. You can't request them for somebody else either. People need to request booklets for themselves because we want to make sure they want them and they are interested in them. And we are not just throwing them out because we have nothing better to do. So please request those 2 free booklets, absolutely free of charge. And please stay tuned because now we have an important video which will tell you more about these 2 booklets and why you must have them. And until next time, this is Norbert Link for the Standing Watch program.
What is the weekly Sabbath and when do we keep it? Did Jesus and the early apostles keep this day? Are Christians still commanded to keep it today as a 7th day of the week? If so, how should it be kept correctly? What about the annual festivals and holy days described in the Bible, such as Passover, the days of unleavened bread, Pentecost, the Feast of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, the Feast of Tabernacles, and the Last Great Day? Did Jesus and the early apostles keep these days? Are these days still binding on Christians today? And if they are, when and how would they have to be kept? To find out more about these important days and the meaning behind them, request a free copy of these booklets by going to eternalgod.org/contact. Standing Watch is a presentation by the Church of the Eternal God, P.O. Box 270519, San Diego, California 92198. More information is also available at our website, eternalgod.org.